Good morning. My name is Luke. I am the other half of Lightning Spoon, and I just wanted to. I'm going to start a new series of a podcast, a spoonful of Luke, maybe. Anyways, Luke means the light of God, so I think light in a spoon, light spoonful of Luke, kind of fits together, right? And so I'm going to come to you a little bit each week, talk a little bit about what's on my heart, what makes me me, talk about my journey, and see if I might be able to provide a little light that feeds your soul. This week, something that's been on my heart is a little bit about where I came from and who I've become today. And so just to give you a little bit of background on me, grew up in an extremely religious home with a father who I think was blinded by the church into believing he needed to treat his family a certain way. I'm now a father of 5 daughters myself. Haven't always been a good one. I'm a husband. I'm a grandfather. And I'm 38 years old. I'm also a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. And for me, my addiction is a big part of my story. So I'll probably start there. I started doing drugs and drinking alcohol about the age of 12 years old. And it started off drinking for the first time with my parents on Christmas Eve. Yes, I was underage. And no, you can't get them in trouble because statute of limitations is already over. But, it was one of those moments where I think they, for the first time, experienced alcohol. Being part of the, Christianity and the Baptist church, alcohol was something that really was kind of one of those no-nos. We just didn't do it. And the moment alcohol came into our family, it changed everything. I slowly started to progress into things like smoking weed, doing acid, mushrooms, ecstasy, everything. And in my life, I've destroyed everything I had and everything I cared about at least 4 times, maybe more. If you ask my kids, I am 2 different people. I'm who you see before you today, which they would call Lukie, but I'm also Luke. And Luke is the man that drinks. Luke is the man that destroys. Luke is the man that hurts. And unfortunately, that's who I spent the majority of my life being. And it wasn't until about 20 months ago that I made a choice in my life that I was going to get better, that I was going to choose something different, that I wasn't going to pretend to be a good man, but I was actually going to become a good man. I wish now that I've got 20 months of sobriety underneath my belt, I wish I would have made this decision a long time ago. My belief is that I would never have fun in my life if it weren't for drugs and alcohol. And that's just not true. It's funny as I look back on my life and I think about all the times that I was drinking and I was partying and I was going out and doing stuff. Yeah, I had some really exciting, fun times. But do I really remember those memories? Do I remember the moments of joy? Because a lot of my drinking and my drug use had to do with covering up pain from my childhood, pain that I had caused other people. The pain I had caused other people really fueled it as an adult, because I knew that the pain I had caused my family, my mother, my children, my wife, was something I was ashamed of. and I needed to cover up. I needed to hide what I was doing to the world because the face I wanted to show everybody was one of positivity and joy. And I wanted to be a positive influence on the men around me. I wanted people to look at me and think, God, Luke, he's such a nice guy. But in reality, it wasn't true. I'd become exactly what I didn't want to be. I'd become a hypocrite. I put on a face in front of other people, and that wasn't who I was. And who I was at that moment in my addiction was a terrible, hurtful, mean, awful human being. I now get the opportunity to be something different. I get to be my true self. And it's funny because all of my friends that are still in their active addiction, including my brother Elvis, all sit here and think that this is just who they are. The person in their addiction is who they are, and it's good, it's okay, because they can't change anything, because this is the lot that they were given, and they just need to live it. But that's not true. It's not true. Our true self is something so much deeper, so much better than what we presented in our addiction that it saddens me to think that people I love, people I care about won't ever experience what I get to experience now. When I wake up in the morning, instead of thinking, God, what did I do last night? What do I need to apologize for? What do I need to atone for? I get to wake up, look at my wife, kiss her on the cheek, say I love you, and go about my day without fear that I did something to hurt her. And the great thing is that when I do cause pain, because it still happens, I'm not perfect and I haven't done anything. There are still moments of weakness. There's still moments that guy Luke still creeps in and Lukie can't fight him. And I'm still an asshole. You can ask my daughter Kaylin, she'll tell you. But those are short-lived moments. It's not all the time. It's not extended periods of time. And the great thing is that I usually recognize it really quickly that I'm doing it. And I now get the choice to stop, to say pause, and change who I am and the way I'm presenting myself to them. I get to look forward to many great things. I have a beautiful grandson, Easton, who provides so much joy, makes me smile, makes me laugh. I am there. I'm connected. I am present in those moments. Instead of thinking about when I'm going to get my next drink or the next time I'm going to get high, I get to make plans to do things that are going to be fun and full of joy. My wife used to plan events for our family based around things that I could actually drink at. Our family vacations, our family dinners out, anything had to do around her making sure that when we got there, I was going to be able to have alcohol. And we don't have to worry about that anymore. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We can go anywhere. It doesn't bother me when other people drink. It doesn't bother me being around alcohol anymore. I have no desire to do it. I don't have the yearning, the feeling that I'm missing something anymore. When I first got sober, there was an emptiness inside of me, like I was missing my best friend. But it's been filled 100 times over with so much more that I get to experience that I never thought that I would do. Now when we go out, it's more about what kind of food we want to eat. What kind of adventure do we want to have? And there's nothing holding us back. We don't need to make pit stops for me to have a beer. We don't need to go out and do things based off of my addiction. I look around and the thought process that I was never going to be able to have fun, that I was never going to be able to have joy again, really, it makes me sad that that was ever the case, because I've had more adventures. I'd have had more joy, more laughter, more connection with the people that I love now that I'm sober than I did in 36 years prior. I'm amazed each and every day at who I am, and I wake up and I'm excited for what the day's going to bring. I no longer fear life. And when bad things happen, like me getting laid off at the beginning of this year, it doesn't destroy my world. It creates an opportunity for growth. It creates an opportunity for me to become a better person. I'm no longer scared by those things that I can't control, because I know as long as I stay and maintain this course, that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. My family's going to be okay. And that as long as we have each other, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. I now have a beautiful home. My wife is more beautiful than ever. Why? Because she no longer lives in fear of who's going to be coming home. Is it Luke or Lukie? She knows who she's going to get every single day. You can see the changes in her face, her body language, her heart. You can see it in my children each and every day. The way they interact with me is completely different. My kids call and ask me for advice. I have adult children, so they call. They call and ask me for advice because I'm now, for the first time in their life, the rational one, the one that can help them with hard decisions without putting any judgment or hurt or pain in it. That never happened before. I am grateful for the moment that I decided that I was done, that I'd hit my bottom. I'm grateful for everybody who's walked with me during the last 20 months and all of the people who put up with me for the first 36 years of my life. I'm so excited. I thank God every single day that I have an opportunity to be a positive influence, to provide joy, to provide a smile, to provide support, and to be somebody people can depend on, rely on, without fear of it ever going away. So I just want to thank you for joining me on my first spoonful of Lukie, I guess we'll call it, because spoonful of Luke, none of you want. Thank you to my father for the opportunity to be a part of Light in a Spoon. Thank you to my wife and my children. And thank you to my mom for always being there, even at my lowest moments, without judgment. And God bless. We'll talk to you soon.